verses 17 through 44. When Jesus had finally got there, he found Lazarus already 4 days dead. Bethany was near Jerusalem, only a couple of miles away, and many of the Jews were visiting Martha and Mary, sympathizing with them over their brother. Martha had heard Jesus was coming and went out to meet him. Mary remained in the house. Martha said, "Master, if you'd been here, my brother wouldn't have died. Even now I know that whatever you ask God, he will give you." Jesus said, "Your brother will be raised up." Martha replied, "I know that he will be raised up in the resurrection at the end of time." "You don't have to wait for the end. I am right now, resurrection and life. The one who believes in me, even though he or she dies, will live. And everyone who lives believing in me does not ultimately die at all. Do you believe this?" "Yes, Master. All along I have believed that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who comes into the world." After saying this, she went to her sister Mary and whispered in her ear, "The teacher is here and asking for you." After saying this, that moment she heard that, she jumped up and ran out to him. Jesus had not entered the town, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. When her sympathizing Jewish friends saw Mary run off, they followed her, thinking she was on her way to the tomb to weep there. Mary came to where Jesus was waiting and fell at his feet, saying, "Master, if only you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her sobbing and the Jews with her sobbing, a deep anger welled up within him. He said, "Where did you put him?" "Master, come and see," they said. And Jesus wept. The Jews said, "Look how deeply he loved him." Others among them said, "Well, if he loved him so much, why didn't he do something to keep him from dying? After all, he opened the eyes of a blind man." Then Jesus, the anger welling up within him, arrived at the tomb. It was a simple cave in the hillside with a slab of stone laid against it. Jesus said, "Remove the stone." The sister of the dead man, Martha, said, "Master, by this time there's a stench. He's been dead 4 days." Jesus looked her in the eye. "Didn't I tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God?" Then to the others, "Go ahead, take away the stone." They removed the stone, and Jesus raised his eyes up to heaven and prayed, "Father, I'm grateful that you have listened to me. I know you always do listen. But on account of this crowd standing here, I've spoken so that they might believe that you sent me." Then he shouted, "Lazarus, come out!" And he came out, the cadaver wrapped from head to toe and with a kerchief over his face. Jesus told them, "Unwrap him and let him loose." This is the word of God for the people of God.
Thanks be to God.
Does what seems like death change into something that is more like sleep, and then it can be awakened? Can something that seems like it is going to end or never be the same through faith in Jesus be fully restored? Well, if Jesus' words here are true, then the answer is yes. The answer is yes. You know, last week we talked about fear. Why do we allow fear to place us in tombs? Why do we allow comfort or apathy to rule our lives rather than faith? Jesus said this: you don't have to wait for the end. I am, right now, resurrection and life. Right now. Why would we choose a tomb over life? Why would we choose comfort, ease, apathy, the easy way out, fear, and death over living? Jesus was angered not once but twice in this scripture passage. Martha and Mary both said, if only you had been here, Lazarus would not have died. Jesus became angry. And Jesus wept. Others who had gathered to pay their respects said, why didn't he do something to keep Lazarus from dying? Jesus was angered again. Ever been so angry it brought you to tears? The Jews thought Jesus wept because he loved Lazarus so much, and we know from Scripture that Jesus did love Lazarus. But what if part of the reason Jesus wept was because of the lack of faith of his friends? They had not only accepted the permanent death of Lazarus, but actually blamed Jesus for his death. Remember? If only you had been here, he would not have died. Are we not resurrection people with Easter in our hearts? Don't we believe that death is not the end? Yes, we do believe that death is not the end. We are resurrection people with Easter in our hearts. We believe in and adhere to the hope of a life lived in and through Jesus Christ. Not just after we die, but here, today, right now. The reality is this: churches are choosing death over life. Members are comfortable with doing as little as possible as long as the doors stay open and the light bill is paid. Why is this, you ask? Or at least you should be asking. It's because we don't really believe that the resurrection from death is something that can be achieved in this life, in the here and now. The alarm clock, friends, has been ringing for a long time. Jesus has been calling out to us. Wake up, O sleeper. Arise from the dead, and I will shine on you. Jesus has been telling us to roll away the stone of comfort and step out of the dark of the tomb and into the light of Christ. There's only one way to roll away a stone that seals up a tomb. It's with help. Remember, Jesus turns to those who are standing there and asks for their help to remove the stone. And he says, remove the stone. People are what God needs. You are who God needs. We must work together. There must be a sense of community. Jesus wants us to wake up from our sleep and live. It will take all of us, not just some of us. And maybe you have felt like you're not equipped enough to do this type of work. Maybe you felt not smart enough, or faithful enough, or biblically rooted enough, or well enough, or young enough, or old enough, or rich enough, or maybe poor enough. So let me remind you that Jesus didn't call the elite, those with all the right qualities according to society's standards. Jesus called the misfits, the rejects, the ones who didn't quite make the cut with their educational abilities. They too were not fully equipped to embark on this journey Jesus was challenging them with, but they went. Why does this have to be something that once was? Why can't it be the same way Jesus does things today? I think it can, and I think it is. Fear, again, is what is holding us back from experiencing a life that is full of the richness that Christ longs for us. If you've ever said or thought any of the above things of being ill-equipped, and that is what kept you from stepping out in faith, then you, like me, have been a victim of fear. Remember, fear is a liar. The truth is, God has placed you here, in this moment, at this time, for a reason. That reason is, well, it's not to give up hope. It's not to give in to fear. It's not to fall asleep. It's not to accept death as the end all. That reason that you have been placed here is to continue the work of the disciples, to be a blessing to all, to spread the good news of Jesus Christ through words and actions, to stick up for those who cannot stick up for themselves, to give drink to the thirsty, to feed the hungry, to clothe the naked, to oppress, to set free the oppressed, to lead people to a life lived free from sin and death, to teach people how to forgive and to love as Jesus loves us. Too long have we been sleeping. Too long have we been knocking on death's door. It's time, people of God. It's time. It's time to stand up. It's time to shout out. It's time to worship with abandoned hearts, to love beyond words, to defeat the tomb we have placed ourselves in, to break the cocoon which is holding back the beauty of God's unfurled grace. Jesus said, Lazarus, come out. Lincoln United Methodist Church, come out. Be set free. Believe in the resurrection of Jesus for your life today and the hope and the promise of resurrection for tomorrow. We are alive. Are we not? We are alive. We are living, breathing, wonderful, beautiful works of God. Let us be alive, because death has been defeated. So watch out, world. Because here we come.